It's time for round 2 of action here in the MIAA D3 South Tournament, and tonight the Norton Lancers take on the TVL champion Medway Mustangs as they try to reach the South Sectional semifinals for the first time since 2015. Hello folks, welcome into our pregame show from a rainy and muggy Hanlon Field in Medway. I'm Javic Blake, and on tap tonight might very well be the best matchup of the playoffs so far. The Lancers, coming into the second round off of a 1-0 victory over Durbo Sherburne on Sunday, are taking on a Medway team that has lost just one game all season to the Norton Lancers back on October the 10th. But first, let's take a look at the Norton Lancers, who come into tonight seeking their first away win since October 11th. The last match, they had some troubles in their last 3 away matches. They've only scored 2 goals in their last 3 away matches, and against a high-powered offense like Medway, they're going to need a lot more than 2 to come out with a victory here tonight. But in their last match against Dover Sherborne, the defense was the star. They held DS to just 4 shots over the final 70 minutes to preserve a 1-0 victory. Will O'Brien during that game was without a doubt the team MVP, matching up against John Muckstad, who's one of the best defenders in the TVL, standing in at 6'4", and was able to get a plethora of chances for the Lancers. The Lancers continued the entire game as they've done all season long. They had the ability to score in bunches. They almost did it at the end of the first half, but they were able to put pressure on Hans Martin here throughout the entire match. And what was a 1-0 game, and the scoreline looked very different on the video. For the Medway Mustangs, on the other hand, they're the TVL champions for the 7th time in program history, and they beat Norton by just 1 game for the title, winning on the final day of the season. But one big thing for them is home field advantage, and it's a decided home field advantage. They have not lost at home since October 21st, 2017, a 2-1 loss to Wellesley. But in their last match in round 1, to get them to the second round, they won 4-0 versus Bishop, staying with goals in the 45th, 48th, and 70th minute to break the game wide open in the second half. They came into it only up 1-0 at the half. They came out of the half and came out firing, and that really starts with our player to watch for the night, Matt Kaplan. 3 goals in the last match, 2 goals and an assist for Medway, and he's single-handedly leading the offense throughout this season, and he's going to look to lead them to the South Sectional semifinals tonight. And the other side of things for the Lancers, it'll be Edward Abuzed, the sophomore, who has 11 points in the season and scored the lone goal last match for the Lancers in throwing abilities, as we've documented all season long, are off the charts and give the Lancers a decided advantage in that category coming into tonight. And when we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and opening kick from Kaplan Field as the Lancers take on the Mustangs. Stay with us, folks. This is LS. Pitch to the outside, runs and trying to bust through the hole and gets it. That mower down, trying to bust through, touching it. He's it back, this one's tipped away. Beaker on the move. Good. Goldstein, Gilbert right in the corner. This one in front, and there it goes, Justin Goldstein. Cold and it's wet from here in Hanlon Field in Medway, Massachusetts, but the Norton Lancers, the number 5 seed, are taking on the number 4 seeded Medway Mustangs here on MIAA Playoff Soccer right here on LSN. So let's get to the starting lineups, folks. Welcome to our broadcast. I'm Javic Blake. The Lancers tonight going with Eno and Kabinski at the top of the normal 4-4-2 formation. Houlihan, O'Brien, Will O'Brien, Jack O'Brien, and Andrew Dalton in the middle, and in the back it'll be Nick Chu, Ben Pescott, Romario Harrison, and Brian Sullivan. In net it'll be Derek Alexander, making his 16th start of the season, owning a .854 save percentage, saving 106 of 124 shots, and got his 7th shutout in his last match. For the Medway Mustangs, they'll be going with a 4-3-3 formation. At the top, it'll be Cam Carpenter, Danny McDonald, and the leading scorer on this team, Matt Kaplan. In the middle, it'll be Andrew Burton, Aiden Gray, and Liam Gray. In the back, it'll be Chris Nicholas, Pat Longval, Troy Newman, and Mitch Olson. And in net will be the junior Kyle Regan for a Medway Mustang team that this season at home has just allowed 3 goals in 11 matches, owning a plus 26 goal differential. As we'll get ready to go here. The Lancers dressed in their all-white uniforms, white jerseys, white shorts, and white socks. For Medway, it'll be all blue. The navy blue tops, the navy blue shorts, and the navy blue socks as well. They'll be going left to right on your television screen. The Lancers will be going right to left. Rainy and wet conditions here on the turf. Expect the ball to really start flying around here in the early going. It'll be Matt Kaplan taking it in the circle. And we'll get ready to go. Just waiting for the ref's whistle as we'll get things underway in the second round of the MIAA D3 South Tournament. The winner moves on to the South Sectional semifinals to face the winner of Norwell and East Bridgewater. The Lancer faithful here in droves as we kick this one off and get underway. A kickoff time of 6:12 p.m. here in Medway. We'll get you the weather here tonight. 53 degrees and rain as it has pretty much all day long, off and on. So rain picking up just a little bit in the recent moments. Wind at 9 miles an hour as this one all the way back to Regan. He'll have to kick it out for the Mustangs. 70% chance of rain. Plus, throughout the match, you'll expect the rain to continue on throughout the night, which shouldn't help conditions any more throughout this match. Medway controlling this one towards midfield. Taken away by the Lancers. And it's sent up by Andrew Kabinski. It's Dalton to Sullivan. Right inside the 50, right inside the midfield line as the Lancers trying to move this one up. It's Houlihan dribbling this one to O'Brien. Back to Houlihan. The shot from way out deep over the crossbar. And we'll get a goal kick here early on. We saw that from Houlihan last game. He showed off his dribbling skills late in the match. Was able to break through 3 defenders with skill. Just missed getting a shot on net. Just missing wide like he did there. The captain for the Lancers sending that one over the goal line, and Medway sending this one downfield off the first goal kick of the night here in the second minute. It's Chu. Is Medway trying to get a counterattack going here. A great pass intended for Kaplan, but intercepted by a Lancer as this one down on the far side. Trying to cross into the box off the arm of Mario Harrison. Deemed incidental as they'll try and get this one back inside the 18, and Harrison blocks that once again. A throw in now for Medway. On the far side, it'll be Benjamin DeFont, the sophomore, to throw it in.
That's Pat Longo.
It's long ball throwing this one in. A long shot on. Hitting a Lancer and going out of play. Here in the third minute, this one on the outside corner. As the Lancers will kick this one out, and yet another throw in for Medway. Controlling possession here in the last minute or so. Trying to get an opportunity on a rush. The Lancers have been there to stop it time and time again. This one thrown inside to the box. Over the head of Kaplan. This one shot on. Off the chest of Romario Harrison, and Harrison goes down. Looks like he made contact with the Medway player just outside the 18. And Harrison looks like he's okay. The Lancers will get a free kick. Third minute, 0-0 the score. The Lancers one shot on the night. It was a boot from Houlihan just inside the 18. It just went just over the crossbar for the Lancers. This one sent on forward. This one played back towards the net. Regan will be able to pick it up though. And he'll kick this one out. The Lancers in their last match against the Mustangs, that one goes out of play for Medway throw. They were able to beat him 3-2 back on October the 10th, but Medway really put up the shots in that one. Outshot the Lancers 15-13, but 2 Lancer chances in the first half. In the 6th minute, off of a penalty kick from Derek Alexander, and a goal from Jack O'Brien in the 40th was able to build that 2-1 lead. This one's played back to Regan. The Lancers really cruised from there, but it was Derek Alexander who was the star of that game, making multiple highlight reel saves in net, and a foul called against the Mustangs. The Lancers will get a free kick just inside the midfield line. The Lancers moving around just outside the 18. This one will be sent on in towards the net. Tried to find Dalton, but it's intercepted and headed out by Medway. It's Carpenter. Has that one, tries to play it up on the far side. Was trying to find McDonald, but the Lancers are able to kick it out. Lancers able to control that on the far side, but a foul called against the Lancers, and Medway will have a free kick just outside of their attacking end. Here in the 5th minute, tied 0-0. The Lancers trying to get past the second round for only the third time since 2010. They were knocked out in the second round in each of 2013, 2014, but it's Andrew Dalton with this one. They'll send it over to the outside. It's Chu pushing this one forward. Sullivan working his way on towards net, but it's kicked out in a slide tackle. The Lancers will have an early corner here in the 6th minute. Had 4 corners in their last match, weren't able to convert on any of them. But they'll try to convert here and get an early lead against a team that really all season long hasn't allowed any goals at home. Only 3 in 11 matches. First set piece of the night for the Lancers. Sent in on towards net. Headed out by a couple of Mustangs as Houlihan has this one just outside the 18. Tries to float it inside the box. That shot right to Regan from Andrew Kabinski. Regan able to pick that one up easily. It was Houlihan from just outside the 18 trying to play it in towards that 6-yard box to find somebody. Blocked by a Mustang, and it was Andrew Kabinski trying to send that one home, but an easy shot right into the chest of Kyle Regan. That pass outside the reach of a Lancer from Andrew Dalton, and it'll be a Medway throw-in. Back and forth action here in the early going. The Lancers had the first opportunity of the night. Then it went back to Medway for a few minutes, and the Lancers able to control the momentum back as they're trying to work it deep into the attacking zone, but it goes the other way. Now Medway has an opportunity. This one tried to be played to Kaplan, but intercepted and headed back by Medway. It's Chu playing this one all the way back to Alexander inside the 18. He'll dribble and send this one up towards midfield, trying to find Kabinski. But it's taken by Gray, sending this one forward. Harrison trying to play this one out. He's able to get it, clear it back towards midfield, towards Andrew Burton, as Medway is able to take this one on the outside.
First tier.
Dalton playing this one on the near side to Houlihan. Taking this past midfield now, looking to send this one on towards net. Eno racing down after that one. The slick grass, the slick turf, sending that ball over the touchline. It'll be a throw in here for Medway. A smart play from Houlihan, trying to spring Eno down deep right outside the 18. He would have tried to cross it back into the 18-yard box for Chu, as that one sent on forward by Kaplan. It's Harrison trying to play that one back to his own defender, but instead it's Medway who controls it. It's McDonald playing this to Kaplan, who's shot blocked by Sullivan. So O'Brien sending this one forward back to Harrison, who started last game. Hadn't started a whole lot this season for the Lancers, but as of recently, has really made an impact on the defensive end for this team. So O'Brien able to kick that one over the touchline, stall the Medway attack for just a moment as they'll have a throw-in on the far side. And a substitution coming on for Medway, as it's Luke Fagerson coming on for the first time tonight in this one. Fagerson, the sophomore midfielder for the Mustangs. This one thrown on downfield for Medway, but the Lancers able to control this one. And it's sent all the way back to Alexander, who's had to play the ball quite a few times here in the early going. Kabinski isn't able to get that 50-50 ball. This one's sent towards the near side. It's Gray. Pass it by Kabinski. It's Kaplan trying to get it inside the 18, but it's Sullivan who's able to get this one away. It's Nick Chu in a forward roll tonight for the first time all season. Tries to send this one long, and it's over the touchline. Medway will get a throw, trying to spring DJ Eno deep in the Lancer attacking zone. They've tried that twice tonight, been unsuccessful on both of their attempts. Here in the 9th minute, the shot so far 2-0 in favor of Norton. Harrison has this one from about 35 out, looks to play it forward, gets it to Eno, but going just over the foot of Nick Chu as the pass. And we get another throw-in for Medway. Medway's only loss of the season came against the Lancers, a 3-2 loss, but they've been perfect at home. A 9-0-2 clip in 11 games And since that loss to the Lancers, they're 5-0-2, scoring 12 goals and only allowing 3 for a +9 goal differential in those 7 games. Great back heel from Houlihan as the Lancers will try and get this one forward. It's Kabinski. Has it on the near side, plays it to Sullivan, who springs it to Romario Harrison as this one's sent back into the Lancer zone. Early on in this one, in the early moments, no team able to take grasp of this game so far. So we're still tied 0-0 on the scoreline. Lancers take this throw in towards midfield. They'll throw it back to Houlihan. Right outside the 18. Is able to send it up, but it's intercepted. It's Liam Gray sending this one on towards net, but just wide of the goal mouth and into the netting behind the net. As the first shot of the night for Medway goes off target. Medway on the season 10-1-3 in the TVO with 23 points. The Lancers, however, with more games played and more points, but however, Medway won due to the less amount of games played. The Lancers went 12-2-2 with 26 points. Medway, however, just their one loss clinched them the TVL title and taking it away from the hands of the Norton Lancers, who overtook the lead for the TVL title with the win over Hollis in their last away victory back on October the 13th. It's Harrison looking to bring this one forward, able to split the defenders of Medway. Has Houlihan on the near side, they'll feed it to him. We're going to play it back. This one to O'Brien. Back to Harrison around the midfield line. Sends this one on towards net. Chu with a back header towards the net. It's Eno trying to get forward, but it's Regan who's able to pick that one up. Some great defense there from Cam Carpenter. Medway controlling this one on the far side. Plays it back towards midfield, and back into his own end, he passes it. The Lancers control it here in the 13th minute, still tied 0-0. Not a whole lot of offensive action here in the early going as Houlihan turned around to grab that pass. Taken away there in a pickpocket by DiGiosa. Sends it on towards Kaplan. Tries to play it over towards the outside. But the Lancers are able to clear this one out towards midfield. It's Eno. Taking this one on the near side. Right near the touchline. He'll dribble here and pass it back to Houlihan. It's Pescott dribbling this one forward, getting it by Kaplan. Sullivan to Harrison on the outside. Floats this one long and deep on towards DJ Eno. They tried that play once again. Third time tonight they've done it, have yet to convert on getting the ball to DJ Eno inside the 18. Medway controlling this one. We're going to play this one on towards net, but it's Houlihan who's there once again. The Lancer defensive backs have done a fantastic job here tonight in the early going, limiting this Medway offensive attack. It's Newman having this towards the center of the field. Gives this one up, but it's taken away by Dalton, but taken right back by Andrew Burton. Burton will dribble this one on towards midfield. Liam Gray has this one over to Chris Nicholas. Right beyond midfield. Back over to Houlihan, overruns the ball. Is going to have to come back to grab it. Able to keep away Matt Kaplan, the junior who last match against the Lancers had an absolutely highlight reel goal from just outside the 18, curving it over the fingertips of Derek Alexander to find the equalizer to tie the game up at 1. The Lancers would, however, take the lead and go on to win the match. This one inside the box, picked up by Regan once again. Lancers with 4 shots on the night, only one of them on target. And none of them particularly threatening to Liam Regan here in the early going. Medway passes this one to the near side. It's Chris Nicholas. Right on the touchline. Tries to lay it back towards the 18. And it's Kyle Houlihan with a great sliding tackle. Well, this one's inside the 18. Nicholas crosses it to the far side, trying to find somebody.
Should have called it there. Effort of a slide tackle, it wasn't a slide tackle, but then he was pushing from behind.
But nobody was there for the Medway Mustangs on the far side. Was trying to feed it to Cam Carpenter, the sophomore, who scored the 4th goal against Bishop Stang in his last match to seal a victory. But he just couldn't get by that Lancer back line. 15th minute, still tied at 0. And it's Sullivan with the goal kick. This one played over to the outside for Medway. We're going to spring this one forward. It's the Lancers who intercept this pass and will take it the other way. It's Chu. Passing this to the far side to Dalton. Plays it forward to Eno. But it's taken away by Medway. They'll go the other way with it. They have a man on the near side. But instead, he'll keep on chugging, trying to find it to get inside the 18. But it's Kyle Houlihan able to clear that one out back towards midfield. It's Eno. Taking this past the midfield line for the Lancers, trying to play it forward, and the rain has looked to have stopped here for a few moments. Been raining hard almost all afternoon. The rain stopping here for a few minutes should help with the conditions, as we're in the 16th of 80 minutes here tonight from Kaplan Field. And we'll get a whistle. Looks like we might have a timeout or a substitution. Try and get word from the referee in just a moment. And the winner of this match will play the winner of Norwell East Bridgewater, the 1-9 match in the D3 South bracket. They'll play this game. They'll play the winner of that match on Thursday right here at Medway High School. A neutral site game as they move on towards the D3 South finals to be played on Sunday. It's just a substitution for the Lancers. The referee talking to Coach Eric Green of the Lancers on the sideline. And it's Kaplan controlling this one on the far side for Medway.
The proper 2 minutes on the field.
It's Dalton trying to play this one forward, but it's stopped by Medway. They look to turn, find someone on the near side. The Lancers concentrated, stacking in that far side of the field with the fenceman. This one inside the 18, looking to grab it as Alexander. He'll come to a sliding snap on that wet turf, sliding a little more than usual to pick that one up here on the 17th minute. A good opportunity for Medway, good thinking, getting that pass inside the 18, but Derek Alexander coming way out of his 6-yard box to grab that one. This one on towards net. DJ Eno trying to run after it once again, but he's not able to get it. The Lancers hanging back towards more of a 4-3-3 formation with Chu up top. Here in the early going. Normally a defender by trade, but sliding in at forward tonight for the Lancers. It's Dalton. Playing this one downfield. Will be intercepted by the captain Longvale. So go over the touchline. And we'll get a goal kick. Substitutions coming on for Medway, as we're inching towards about halfway through the first half of this one. Jonathan DiGioso, one of the men coming on for the Medway Mustangs. As it's been a lot of success here under Neil Brandon for the Medway Mustangs. They're 8-4 in the playoffs. He's coached the team to a 61-17-12 record in his 5 years with the program, as that one goes to Alexander. And he'll be able to kick this one out. One team that Neil Brandon has had trouble with during his tenure is the Norton Lancers. He's 3-6 against them, but trying to win his 4th to take his team to the South Sectional semifinals, where they're hoping to get back to the Mass State semifinals. They were there in 2016, but they lost 1-0 to Wayland, who ended up winning the whole thing for Division III. Last year for him, 2017, there was some trouble in the second round. They lost to Seekonk in overtime, 1-0. To end their playoff hopes. As Houlihan playing this one up forward to Eno. Jaking it just outside the 18, trying to cross it. We'll get a goal kick, as that one going over the touchline. try to make a sliding stop to save that. The goal kick will be taken by Troy Newman. And Medway will take a timeout here in the 19th minute. Tied at 0-0 the stats. The Lancers with 4 shots. Medway with just 2. But when we come back, more LSN MIAA playoff soccer action here in the 19th minute from Kaplan Field. Stick with us, folks. Welcome back to Hanlon Field in Medway, Massachusetts on a cold and rainy night. The rain seemed to have let up for a bit. The Medway Mustangs and Norton Lancers tied 0-0 here as we enter the 20th minute of action coming off the Medway timeout. The Lancers really came out with a lot of energy. Medway just trying to stop that for just a moment, trying to get some opportunities. They've had some on their attacking side, but it's been pretty much stopped by the Lancer backline, which has been fantastic all season long, only allowing 18 games in 18 matches. Good for averaging just 1 per match, putting them at 3rd in the TVL. Mario Harrison fighting off his defender to grab that one for the Lancers. And Medway, team that's traditionally struggled against the Lancers, but the last time these two teams met in the playoffs in 2012, the very first round, it was Medway getting the better of the Lancers with a 2-0 victory the last time they played each other in the playoffs. Medway to throw this one in from the near side here in the 20th minute. Still tied 0-0. Shots just about even at 4-2. This one played to the far side for Medway. They'll try to play it forward. Stopped by the Lancers. This one going out off of Medway. It looked like it was Daniel McDonald who went off of, and the Lancers will throw this one in. Edward Abuzed warming up on the far side for the Lancers. One player we haven't seen in action here tonight through the first quarter, the first half, and that's really because for the Lancers, they haven't had too many throwing opportunities from the inside, deep in the attacking end. It's his specialty, 9 assists on the season, and a plethora of those coming from his throw-ins on the near and far side. As it will be Edward Abuzed, number 25, coming in for the Lancers, and they'll add some height with Colton Hughes coming in as well. Abuzed to throw this from the far side. The rain's starting to pick up now. You got to think it'll affect the throwing abilities for Abuzed as this one sent inside the 18, headed into the hands of Kyle Regan. It's the first opportunity on a throw-in of the night for the Lancers. Goes right into the hands of Regan as this one will go the other way for Medway. The Lancers moving this one forward. It's Eno taking this, and the question was, would the rain affect the throw-ins of Edward Abuzed? And Abuzed showing early that that's not the case. And Sullivan tagged with the foul of the Lancers. The Medway Mustangs will get a free kick from about 35 yards out. Here in the 22nd minute of 40 here in the first half. The Lancers traveling in numbers tonight to Medway, braving the elements here on this rainy night, trying to cheer on their Lancers to their 4th victory in their past 5 games. This one sent on towards net, picked up by Derek Alexander. Alexander boots this one downfield, trying to find Eno. He's not able to grab it. This one sent the other way. Medway plays this one in their own zone. Trying to flay it down to Kaplan. Kaplan has this one. Trying to drill by Sullivan, but it's Sullivan and Harrison converging there to stop him. Lancers only allowing about 7 shots per game on Derek Alexander. They've allowed 2 here tonight, but it's that back line, as we've said pretty much all season long. Mario Harrison, Brian Sullivan, Ben Pescott, Nick Chu, Andrew Dalton getting in there at moments that have really done the brunt of the work for the Lancers on the back end. So the throw in here from Mitchell Olsen, the junior, from the far side, as the rain really starting to pick up now here in the 25th minute. He'll stand quite a few paces off from the track behind that touchline. This one sent in on towards net. It's Kaplan trying to bicycle kick it on towards net. And a little bit of pushing and shoving there as Midway trying to get Kaplan up from the ground. And it was Kaplan and Sullivan who were fighting for positioning as the rain now really started to come down almost at a 45-degree angle. As we in towards the end of the first half here on LSN, it'll be Sullivan to kick this one out. Sullivan and Kaplan just getting tied up. Kaplan went for the bicycle kick, ended up just falling right in his back as this one sent on towards net and picked up easily by Kyle Regan. Mustangs sending this one on towards net, picked up by Alexander. It's Alexander sending this one just beyond midfield. As it's Hughes trying to battle for that one. Sent back towards the center of the field, but it's Hughes who's trying to grab it for the Lancers, fighting for that on the far side. And now a throw in for Medway. Substitutions coming on as well for the Lancers. So Lancers head coach Eric Green just trying to get some fresh legs out there. Who's 7-2 in the playoffs since 2015. 161 wins as a coach does Eric Green have here in his 13th season with the Lancers, trying to guide him to the sectional semifinals for the first time since 2015 when they won their first state title. So we Alexander for a goal kick here on the 26th minute. Remember, folks, coming up at the half will be the LSN halftime report. We'll break down all the first half as well as matches around the MIAA D3 South tournament. We'll give you an update on Norwell and East Bridgewater as well, the 1-9 contest. So the winner of this match will face on Thursday. Sullivan sends this one on towards midfield for the Lancers. Headed on back, and it'll be Dalton tagged for the foul there. And a foul called there against the Medway Mustangs as it was number 4, Andrew Kabinski, sliding onto that turf off of a push. 27 minutes into this one, still tied 0-0. Looking for a breakthrough here as the Lancers will try and control this one. Off a free kick restart. Sending this one on towards the net is Sullivan. Headed towards the near side, and it'll be Andrew Kabinski. With some perfectly timed strategic measures there to get that one out of play. Looked like it would be Nicholas and Gray fighting with Kabinski for the ball. Kabinski able to move out of the way of him as that one goes over the touchline. Now here comes Edward Abuzen and Colton Hughes adding some height inside the box. And adding some throwing ability on the near side. Scored from pretty much the same exact spot last match to give the Lancers a 1-0 lead. Threw it on towards net inside the 6. Bounced off a DS defender and in the back of the net was credited with the goal. So here we go, 28th minute, tied 0-0. The Lancers trying for a breakthrough. It's Abuzen throwing this one on towards net. Regan falling, Dolan with a fantastic opportunity, sends it over the crossbar. But a foul called on multiple Lancers as Regan was trying to get that one battled with some Lancers and ended up getting pushed over. A fantastic throw-in from Edward Abuzen to the near side. Just going over the crossbar as Andrew Dalton tried to send that one on towards nets. A few fouls called as well as Regan hitting the turf. The rain continuing to come down. It stopped for about a 10-minute period in the middle of this first half, but came back and is now steadily raining here in the later parts. It's Romario Harrison sending this one forward. as it's Luke Fagerson controlling this one, setting it to the outside. As Harrison boots this one all the way downfield towards Kyle Regan. And he'll pick this one up and he'll kick it out here in the 29th of 40 minutes here in the first half. Still looking for a breakthrough, with the Lancers really holding the decisive advantage in shot opportunities. Leading that category 6-4, but Midway leading the shots on target by a 3-2 advantage. Now the rain really starting to pick up now. You can see it pooling on the track just around midfield. Umbrella's starting to come out as well. As the rain pouring down here at Hanlon Field. Medway to throw this one in on the far side. Remember, folks, coming up with the half, Ellison at the half. Right down all the first half action. This one try to be sent inside towards the 18, won't work. And Medway will have to retreat back towards midfield. This one sent to Burton, just outside the 18, lines up, fires this one on towards net. That one's in, off the crossbar and bounces in. Andrew Burton sending this one home in the 30th minute, just outside the reach of Derek Alexander. And Medway will take a crucial 1-0 lead. The 5th shot of the night for Medway, the 4th on target. And the Mustangs take a 1-0 lead here in the rain at Hanlon Field. As Andrew Burton gets them on the board. And Medway now 30 goals at home in 11 matches. They were able to beat the Lancers handily here on opening night by a 4-0 scoreline. Now a foul called against the Mustangs. The Lancers will have a free kick opportunity from just about 35-40 yards out. 31st minute, the Lancers trying to respond to that Andrew Burton goal that put Medway up 1-0 in the 30th minute. Lancers, a plethora of players right alongside the 18 as that one tried to be headed on towards net by Mario Harrison. That one will go off the Lancer and out of play over the touchline. And Medway will get a throw up. Well, Medway will get the goal kick opportunity. The only time the Lancers have been down at the half all season long was against Medway at this very field on opening night. Trying to avoid going down at the half once again in the D3 South sectional quarterfinals. They've had some chances in towards net, but they haven't been able to convert so far tonight. It's Dalton sending this one forward. We're going to find somebody. It's Nick Chu just inside the 18 looking for an opportunity, but it's Reagan who's able to grab it. Just kicking that one out as Medway sends this one out of play and a throw in for the Lancers. Edward Abuzet to throw this one in. Grabs a towel from assistant coach Steve Hughes. And he'll throw this one on in the 32nd minute. Lone goal of the night scored just 2 minutes ago by Medway. A fantastic shot off the crossbar and over the goal line by Andrew Burton, the junior midfielder, to give them a 1-0 lead. This one thrown on towards net with Abuzet. It's Will O'Brien kicking that one out of play. Just a bit too far on the near side as Abuzet comes off. And Kabinski coming back on for the Lancers. They have been down at the half before in the playoffs. 2017, most recently, they were down 1-0 at the half to Sandwich. Ended up coming back and winning that one with a goal in the second half to send it to overtime, but they ended up losing in double overtime. Sandwich advanced on to the second round under a fantastic goal just inside the 18 to win it for them as the Lancers control this one on the near side. It's Houlihan who has it. Sending it forward, but it's taken away by Chris Nicholas. It's Eno playing this one back to Dalton. This one headed forward. Chu trying to get it on for the Lancers. But it's kicked out by Medway, who their defense has really come alive the last few moments. That back line doing a fantastic job keeping the Lancer opportunities out. This one playing on the near side of Kyle Houlihan. Time running down here in the first half in the 34th of 40 minutes. It's Luke Fagerson. Tried to play this one back to his own teammate. He finds it. He's trying to find Cam Carpenter. Carpenter overran the pass. This one on the far side. Taken by Carpenter. So that one goes over the touchline for Medway throw. The rain turning into more of a steady drizzle here in the later parts of the first half. As Midway trying to advance this one forward. And a foul called against him. It's Cam Carpenter pushing down a Lancer, and the Lancer will get the ball here with 5 minutes plus stoppage time left in the first half. This one sent on forward for the Lancers. Kabinski couldn't get it for him as this one sent back with Medfield. As Medway sending this one on towards the outside over the touchline. The Mustangs will have a throw. Medway ranked as high as number 17 in the Boston Globe rankings this season. Before the Lancers were able to beat them, they dropped down out of the polls, but they came back with a number 4 seed in the D3 South tournament. This one sent on towards the center of the pitch as Medway trying to bring this one up. Takes this on the near side. It's Aiden Gray. We're going to float this one on towards net to Kaplan, but it just goes by him. The Lancers are able to pick this one up. A quick turnaround for him. This one sent to Eno. 7 goals on the season, leading all seniors is DJ Eno as this one sent back. Eno able to play that one forward. A few headers for the Lancers in quick succession of creating an opportunity. And it's Kabinski getting hailed just outside the 18. It's enabling Regan to pick that one up. Medway going the other way with it, trying to create a counterattack here late in the first half, trying to find what would be a gigantic second goal to create a 2-0 lead. They'll control it on the far side, just outside the 18. And a foul will called against Medway once again. The Lancer back line has done a fantastic job drawing fouls late in the first half after that Burton goal. Now, the second or third rush straight for the Lancers that they've been able to stop it on account of a foul from Medway. This one sent downfield for the Lancers. Played back towards midfield by Medway, but it'll be Kyle Houlihan who has this one. Heads it on forward. It's Dalton who has it. Plays it downfield as Eno chases after this one inside the 18. Trying to get around his defender. Gain entry inside the 6, but that one will be kicked out, and it'll be Andrew Dalton who has it. We're going to play this one on towards net. Has it in front, but sent directly to Regan, just missing the head of Will O'Brien. Medway with a counterattack here late. Andrew Burton has it. Here in the 38th minute, as Alexander will pick that one up. Tries off the ball with his inside of his jersey, and he'll kick this one out. A high kick on just beyond midfield. The Lancers trying to head this one backwards towards the attacking zone. Is that one out of play? And they'll give the throw into Medway off of Nick Chu. Was the pass. Coming up, folks, remember at the half is the Ellison halftime report. We'll break down all the first half action for you, as well as a look against the 9-1 game. The winner of this will play that game next. Is Norwell and East Bridgewater playing tonight in Norwell, the number 1 seed in the tournament at 16-0-3. Without a loss on the season. trying to continue that streak to 20 games with a point tonight against East Bridgewater, the number 9 seed. This one sent in on towards the 18, but it's Shamarlo Harrison who's able to kick this one out for the Lancers. The clock ticking into the 39th minute. Sullivan heading this one on towards midfield to Harrison. Able to dribble it on the far side and bring it forward. The Lancers controlled the chances in the early going, but have had nothing to show for it so far tonight. Medway really controlling the action here as of late. And they have the 1 goal to show for it and the 1-0 lead. This one sent on towards net just outside the 18. A long stretch pass to Chu is this one on the outside for the Lancers. This one sent in out of play. And the Lancers will get some substitutions. The Lancers will take a timeout with time ticking down here in the first half. So when we come back, a corner for the Lancers just outside their own 18 on the far side. 1-0 to score thanks to an Andrew Burton goal in the 30th minute. Stick with us, folks. This is MIAA Playoff Soccer right here on LSN. Hello, folks. Welcome back here to Medway, Massachusetts. The Lancers, seeded number 5 in the D3 South Sectional, taking on the number 4 seed in Medway Mustangs. So we're inching towards the first half here in the 40th minute. It'll be Edward Abuzet with a long throw. And he'll try to get it inside the 6 for the Lancers, and they'll try to find an equalizer before the half. This one thrown in long towards the net, but headed out by Medway. Abuzet sending this one on towards net, but grabbed by Regan off a high bounce. Off the shot from Abuzet. The 4th on target of the half for the Lancers. Their 8th shot overall. Medway with 5 shots. But they've been a lot more accurate. 4 of theirs has been on target. This one sent downfield to Pescod with Kaplan in for Medway. It's Burton. Pickpocketed there by Will O'Brien. Harrison has this one, and that's where we'll end the first half. 1-0 the score. Medway's lone goal coming in the 30th minute off of Andrew Burton. But LSN halftime report coming up next from a rainy Hanlon Field here in Medway, Massachusetts. It's 1-0 Medway as we hit the half. Stick with us, folks. Hello, folks. Welcome inside the LSN halftime report. I'm Javik Blake as the Norton Lancers down by 1 to the Medway Mustangs at the half as Medway trying for their 15th win of the season to send them towards the 3rd round of the MIAA D3 South tournament. The lone goal tonight, Andrew Burton scoring in the 30th minute to give Medway the 1-0 lead off a fantastic opportunity just inside the 18 off the crossbar and in. The shots tonight, the Lancers with 8, Medway with 5. The shots on net, though, tied 4 for the Lancers, leading in corners by a 1-0 score. So the Lancers coming back out for the second half. They've done a fantastic job in the first half on the defensive end, but on the offensive end, there's a lot to be desired. 7 shots so far, but only 4 of them on target, and nothing really challenging to Kyle Regan, the junior, here in the early going. Medway, on the other hand, Matthew Kaplan has been great all night long inside the 18 for him. Know what to continue that inside the 18 and throughout the second half to try and build an even bigger lead for Medway and secure their place in the 3rd round of the MIAA D3 South Soccer Tournament. So this is the LSN halftime report. Coming up next, the second half from Hanlon Field here in Medway, Massachusetts. I'm Javik Blake, the Medway Mustangs, leading the Norton Lancers by a 1-0 score. Stick with us, folks. Hello, folks. Welcome back to our broadcast. Second half action getting ready to go underway from here at Hanlon Field. The rain seemed to have let up here just at the end of halftime. It was really coming down towards the end of the first half, especially when Andrew Burton scored the lone goal of the night for Medway. With DJ Eno taking the kick as the Lancers now going left to right on your television screen, switching things up. Medway will go right to left on your television screen here for the second half. The Lancers trying to score a goal and tie this one up, find the equalizer. They got 40 minutes to do it as they try to save their season and move on to the 3rd round. This one sent towards Jack O'Brien off the opening kick to Nick Chu. Back to O'Brien. Harrison has this one, and they'll play it all the way back to Sullivan. Pescott sending this one forward. Lancers coming out firing here in the second half. Blazing speed here in the early going. This one sent downfield. Kabinski trying to run after that one. It'll go out of play. And here comes Edward Abuzet.
He caught him that time, Dave.
The Lancers not getting their substitutions in, so it's Dalton who throws this one on for the Lancers. This one in front of the net, outside the 18. The Lancers can't get a shot off. This one sent straight up in the air. Eno battling for this one. It's Dalton controlling it now as this one sent back towards midfield. And Shamario Harrison retracing his steps to grab that one. It's Pescott sending it on forward. Medway has it on the near side. They'll play it downfield. And three different Lancers converging for that one. O'Brien, Pescott, and Romario Harrison. Now it's Pescott. Defending Fagerson. Sent towards the middle. Fagerson has it. Flanked by Chu. This one to Carpenter. On the near side. Gets it around a few Lancer defenders, but it's Brian Sullivan who's able to kick this one forward and out for a Medway throw. On the near side, it'll be Mitchell Olsen, the junior, to throw this one in. Here in the 42nd of 80 minutes. This one thrown in on towards net, towards the near side. This one rattled around, that one up and over the crossbar, just out of the reach of Derek Alexander. Was sizing it up for a minute. Looked like it might have gone over his fingers, but instead over the crossbar and behind the net, and the Lancers still clinging to a 1-0 deficit. It'll be Brian Sullivan to kick this one out. This is controlled by Gray. Sent on past the midfield line into Medway's half. And pass out of the reach of everybody and over the touchline for a throw-in. Derek Alexander will get a new ball. As Brian Sullivan will kick this one out. The Lancers against the TVO in the playoffs, 3-2. Since 2006, but they've won their last 3 matches against TVL teams. And Medway, on the other hand, 2-2 versus the TVL, and it's their first since 2015 when they lost in the first round to Dover Sherborne, as it's Derek Alexander falling on that one for the Lancers. And that loss to Dover Sherborne, had they had won that match, it would have set up a Medway Mustangs Norton Lancers face-off in the second round of the MIA tournament as that one goes out of play, but instead it was DS playing the Norton Lancers. The Lancers were able to win that one and move on in 2015 as they moved on 6 different times until they were crowned state champions of Division III. Their only state title in program history. On the other hand side of things is the Medway Mustangs, their lone Massachusetts State Championship coming back in 2000, but they have 4 sectional championships to go along with it in 2006, 2012, 2013, and 2016, the latest of the sectional championships. Medway trying to bring this one forward. It's DJ Eno playing some great defense in a midfield role now for the Lancers. As up top, it's Nick Chu and Andrew Kabinski, along with DJ Eno here in the early stages of the second half. It's O'Brien taking that one away from Medway, trying to play it forward. To Eno with an outstretched foot, can't grab it. And now it's Romario Harrison grabbing this one for the Lancers. The Lancers still trying to find that equalizer. This one sent on towards net as Nick Chu tried to get it and put it on towards net, but it's Kyle Regan, the junior, who's able to grab it. Medway controlling this one towards midfield. And it's Kabinski controlling this on the far side. Sent downfield. Eno chasing after this one. That one's going to get over the touchline. And we'll get a goal kick here in the 46th minute. And some substitutions coming on for the Lancers. And Green will get a head coach Eric Green getting a talking to from the head referee. In the 46th minute, Medway leading 1-0. And we'll get a restart here. 46th minute. The Lancers are still trying to find that equalizer, as they have been for the last 16 plus minutes tonight. Midway controlling this one on the far side. The Lancers now have it. It's Dalton bringing this one towards midfield with some dribbling. Plays to Houlihan, who plays it downfield. Chu trying to get after it, but holding him off was Patrick Longvale, the senior, able to hold him off just long enough. And a throw in now from Jack O'Brien. Throws it to Dalton, back to O'Brien. They'll play it all the way back towards the center of the field for Ben Pescott. To Sullivan. This one downfield to Dalton. Looks to send this one on towards net. Sends it on towards net. A fantastic opportunity kicked away by Pat Longville. This one out of play and a Lancer throw. A fantastic opportunity for the Lancers. It was Andrew Dalton sending this one on towards the middle of the field and towards the net. But Patrick Longvall able to kick that one away for the Medway Mustangs to keep this at a 1-0 lead. But it's Edward Abused with the throw-in.
What are they doing? They get that? I think they realize they screwed up. Yeah, okay. Nice, makes up too.
And here in the 38th minute, a little bit of confusion there.
He'll definitely kick it off his leg.
And the refs will converge here. Seems like they're trying to reverse their decision. They had pointed it in the direction of the Lancers as they're throwing. And they'll give it back to the Lancers. So in the 38th minute, a little bit of confusion. But it'll be Edward Abused with the throw. The Lancer faithful ready to erupt if he can assist on a goal here. Throws this one on towards net, falling forward as this one goes on towards net, headed out and cleared by Medway. On the far side, and yet another throw in for Abused. He'll run to the opposite side of the field, to the far side to throw this one in. His previous throw tried to throw it in and keep his feet inside, outside of the touchline. Tried so hard, slipped on the wet turf and fell. But he has nothing near side, and the far side now in the 48th minute. This one, running up, throwing this one on towards net, inside the 6, headed on, and just missing the goal. A fantastic header opportunity inside the 6, going just outside of the near post. The Lancer faithful, ready to erupt had that had gone in. Audible oohs and ahs as that one just missing the near side post. This one sent on towards midfield, and Edward Abused had two fantastic throws when the Lancers needed them most. But however, they just could not convert. Harrison has this one for the Lancers. They're trying hard to find that equalizer. This one sent on towards net on the far side. Eno chasing after it. And it'll go over the touchline for a Medway throw. Medway controlling this one on the near side. They're trying to spring Carpenter down deep. But takes a high bounce off the turf and just off his shoulder into the hands of Derek Alexander. A smart idea. They had Carpenter all alone. And had it not been a bounce right into his shoulder, probably would have been a great goal opportunity to send it by Derek Alexander. and give Medway a 2-0 lead here in the 50th minute. Carpenter with a highlight reel goal in his last game for the Lancers, for the Mustangs, as we said earlier, and was able to split 3 Bishop Stang defenders and shoot it right into the top corner to score the 4th goal of the night for Medway in their 4-0 victories. This one sent all the way back to Alexander as he grabs it inside the 18. It's Hughes trying to play this forward off his foot, but it's sent the other way. Fagerson playing this to the outside. Lance is doing a fantastic job of containing the offensive presence of Medway to the outside. This one sent downfield. It's Abuza chasing after it. Right inside the 18, he'll try and grab it. As Medway's able to bring it up. They were able to walk the far touch line as Edward Abuza went sliding into the far corner flag. And a foul called on Medway. Lancers a free kick right outside the midfield line. Here in the 51st minute, it'll be Brian Sullivan to kick it. Some silly chance coming from the Lancer faithful as he shoots this one on towards net. As this one right in front, the Lancers have an opportunity. Nobody's in the net, but Medway able to kick it out. Harrison sending this one on forward. And now it's O'Brien. Some pushing and shoving inside the 18 as this one goes out of play over the touchline. Medway will get a throw. A substitution coming on for the Lancers as Colton Hughes subbed off for Andrew Kabinski. A fantastic opportunity just inside the 18 for the Lancers, just outside the 6. And a free kick for the Lancers. A foul called on Daniel McDonald. Brian Sullivan to kick it in once again. Had a fantastic opportunity with Regan falling down the last free kick as they'll send this one on towards net. A low driving kick inside, trying to find Abuza, but it doesn't work. It's Houlihan. Trying to get by some defenders, is able to pinpoint the ball forward to Eno. It's Harrison, having it in the far side. We're going to send this one towards Eno, he does. This one's sent forward, and the Lancers able to kick this one back. It's Dalton. Finding O'Brien. Overruns it. He's trying to get by Andrew Burton, and he'll pass it to the near side. Burton, the lone goal here tonight, back in the 30th minute. The 67th minute, as that one goes just over the touchline. As Jack O'Brien tried to walk the touchline, but just going over. As this one now downfield. The Lancers able to kick that one out. It would have been a one-on-one between Fagerson and Pescott. The Lancers still down by 1, trying to find an equalizer, and Medway trying to extend it here on this offensive opportunity, just outside the 18, looking for a cross. He'll get it inside the box. Dralrick Alexander diving back towards the near side post to save that one is Aiden Gray. The first shot of the second half for Medway is saved by Derek Alexander, going back to his near side post. We've seen him come up with a plethora of fantastic saves against Medway this season. Had really a match-saving save against Medway in the last match. Was able to dive across the goal crease, going off the chest of Kyle Houlihan, and he was able to bat it away with his free hand. That preserved the 2-1 Lancer lead, which they extended to 3-1 early in the second half as the Lancers trying to find just one goal here. It's O'Brien sending this one downfield. Abuza chasing after it, looking for a cross. It'll be him and Newman as that one goes over the touchline and we'll get a goal kick. In the 54th of 80 minutes here at Hanlon Field. The Lancers, head coached by Eric Green, trying to continue on their season. It's Daniel McDonald. Has it on the near side. Quite a few rushes have come from just outside the 18 for Medway, and that one a corner now. Mario Harrison able to kick that one away in a set piece, the first of the night for Medway. It'll be Matt Kaplan taking this one from the near side corner. 55 minutes into this one, trying to extend the lead to 2-0. They'll place it, take a few steps back, the Lancers, with two men standing just outside the 6. This one on towards net over everybody and headed on in. Harrison trying to get that out for Medway as they'll kick it right into the chest of Derek Alexander. 2 shots on 2 straight rushes for Medway. Derek Alexander has continued to stop him time and time again. 5 saves tonight on 6 shots. O'Brien grabs this one for the Lancers, sending this one on forward. It's Kabinski to Abuzid just outside the 18. They have a crossing opportunity. They'll cross it in front. And this one's sent on towards net. It's somebody trying to get it. It's O'Brien with the shot. Hits off a Medway defender and goes out of play. And now a chance for an Edward Abuzid throw-in. Substitutions coming on. It's Colton Hughes giving the Lancers some height. They've had some fantastic opportunities on throw-ins tonight, and Abuzid trying to assist on a throw-in that would tie this one up. 56 minutes into this one. He'll throw this one on towards net, inside the 6. Out of the hands of Regan, tries to scramble to it, and the Lancers able to sneak it all the way back out to Abuzid, and they'll get another throw. His 4th opportunity tonight. 0 for 3 so far, trying to make it 1 of 4, and the Lancers to find an equalizer. 57 minutes into this one. Throws this one on towards net. A high arching throw on towards net, headed straight up in the air by the Lancers, but kicked out by Medway. Stopping another Lancer opportunity as this one sent to the far side to Eno. Able to play this one back towards the field, and Medway sends this one all the way down to their attacking end. The Lancers still trying to find an equalizer. They've been trying to find it for almost a half hour. Burton scoring the lone goal of the match at the half-hour mark. The junior midfielder scoring the lone goal of the match so far. Medway throws this one in on the near side. Headed on back. Into the open is Fagerson. Trying to get it past Will O'Brien, but it doesn't work, and the Lancers have an opportunity now on a rush going the other way, but they give it up. Now it's back to Burton, the guy with the only goal tonight in this match. Has it just outside the 18. Looks for a cross inside the box. Headed on in front, just over the net. A fantastic opportunity just going over the crossbar. It was Luke Fagerson heading that one on towards net. Had it been just a few inches lower, it would have given Medway a 2-0 lead in this one. Sullivan sends this one on forward from his own 6. But Medway controls this one, going the other way. Now it's Daniel McDonald to Kaplan. Crossing this one on towards the middle of the pitch. This one sent on towards net. Alexander will chase to grab that one and will fall on it. Medway able to play this one forward. It's Kaplan playing it, but it goes all the way back to Alexander. Almost halfway through this second half. The shots so far in this second half, the Lancers with 3. None of them being on net, but they've had some fantastic opportunities here in the last few moments. Medway going the other way with this one. Houlihan plays it forward to Dalton. To O'Brien. Sending this one on towards net. Wide of Regan. And yet another goal kick, the Lancers. only able to convert so far on 4 of their 12 shots. Good for only 33% on the night. And coming off is Liam Gray, the senior, who had an assist last match on Kaplan's first goal. As Troy Newman, with a 2-goal match streak, hasn't scored yet tonight. Would love to extend it here to give Medway a 2-0 lead. It's O'Brien controlling this one. Lancers still trying to find an equalizer and keep their playoff hopes alive. They've only moved on to the 3rd round of the MIAA tournament twice since 2010. That's 9 years and only 2 trips past the 2nd round. As this one sent on towards net, it's DJ Eno. They tried to find him, and he'll have it just outside the 18. Looks to turn and pass it to somebody, but he runs into his own player. Now it'll go the other way for Medway. In a match that had the hype of one of the best matches so far in this tournament, has certainly lived up to that hype as that one goes over the goal line. And the Lancers will get a goal kick. Some fantastic defense there from Kyle Houlihan as substitutions coming on for Medway. Here in the 61st of 80 minutes. As Sullivan will kick this one out for the Lancers. 1-0 the score, and the rain starting to come back. Umbrella is starting to come out throughout the stands as Dalton able to bring this one forward for the Lancers. But kicked out by Medway as they've done time and time again on that back line. It's Carpenter pulling this one on forward to Fagerson. He'll bring it forward trying to find somebody, but he's pushed off by O'Brien, and it'll be Nick Chu setting this one forward for the Lancers. It's Dalton grabbing this one just inside midfield. Declan D still has it. Gives it up to Medway. Now to go the other way for the Lancers having it. A player down for Medway as he holds his head. And it's Andrew Burton, slow to get up. Here in the 62nd minute. As Burton will walk off the field, getting a few high fives from his teammates as the rain continuing to pour down here in the 62nd of 80 minutes. About 18 minutes to go plus stoppage time as Mario Harrison will come in for Andrew Kabinski. In the late stages of this one, the Lancers still trying to find an equalizer. As Harrison now looking towards a forward roll for the Lancers. It'll be him, Diestel, and Eno, the forward 3 for the Lancers. They'll have a free kick from just inside the midfield line in their attacking end. The rain now really starting to come down now. Here in the second half from Hanlon Field in Medway, Massachusetts. What a game it's been so far tonight. If you're just joining us, Medway scoring the lone goal of the night. Andrew Burton scoring it in the 30th minute as this one sent on towards net. Punched out by Derek Alexander. Looked like he might have gone to catch it, but instead decided to punch it out as this one tried to be played inside the 18. Alexander chasing after it as that one goes out of play over the touchline, and Alexander will get a goal kick. If you're just joining us, a plethora of chances for Medway and Norton here tonight. Some great play in net by both Kyle Regan and Derek Alexander. Regan saving all 4 of the Lancers shots, as Alexander saving 5 of the 6 Medway shots on target. As Houlihan plays this one on the near side, just outside his own 18. Lancers eager to get something on the board here late. Last time they were shut out was the 29th as they played at Hopkinton. They lost that one 1-0. Also lost them the TVL title. Then coming into that day, they needed to win the TVL title. They lost in a goal in the second half to give Medway the title for the 7th time in program history. with the Lancers trying to send this one on forward. Kicked out by Core. And the Lancers controlling it on the far side now. Kicks this one towards midfield. And it's Pescott sending this one forward. The Lancers trying to get something going here. In the 64th minute, still trying to find their first goal of the night. This one, a quick start throwing for the Lancers as Declan D still has this one. On the far side, kept up with a Medway defender, and Medway will be able to control possession and send this one the other way. And a Lancer throw as that one goes off of Luke Fagerson. Medway, they've had quite the success in the recent years. They went to the Massachusetts D3 semifinals in 2016 and 2014. They lost in the South semifinals, so one round beyond this to Martha's Vineyard in double overtime. And they've really, if this game does go into overtime, it's been about 50-50 for them, exactly 50-50 for them. 2-2 in games that go into overtime, 2-2 in games that go into penalty kicks. The Lancers playing this one towards Dalton at midfield. Coming behind him was Cam Carpenter, but he'll bring this one up towards the 18, looking for a cross. He'll send this one on towards net as Harrison in front. Sends it by three different Lancers, just by the foot of DJ Eno, and the Lancers defense, the Lancers offense once again, as it's been all night long, just missing. As Carpenter plays this one out as Medway trying to get a counterattack going. They'll play this one downfield. It's a foot race between Sullivan and Kaplan. Kaplan able to win it and grab the ball. As Sullivan able to grab that one, but kick it out. Be able to clear it away for just a moment so the Lancers can regroup and get some numbers down deep in their defensive zone. This one played in towards the box, right in front. Medway has it. The shot blocked by Alexander, coming sliding out of his goal crease and kicking that one away to the far side. Sliding out like a hockey goalie to save that one. And a throw in now for Mitchell Olsen. The best save of the night for Derek Alexander might be the most important one. Keeps this game at 1-0. This one right back to Alexander. And he'll run it out quickly. Trying to send this one downfield. The Lancers have one man. It's Declan Diestel. Down deep in this one. Medway moving this one forward, trying to cross it on towards the net, but picked up by Derek Alexander. Yet another save on the ninth shot on net of the night for the Medway Mustangs. Shots on net 9 for the Lancers without one on target in the second half. They've had the chances inside the 18, but they haven't been able to get anything on it. And the key term so far in the second half has been just missing for the Lancers. Quite a few opportunities they've had where it's just missing the outstretched foot. So the Lancers bring this one up, trying to find Harrison, but just getting out of his reach and going over the goal line. Desperation time coming for the Lancers. 67th of 80 minutes. And a timeout by the Lancers. 67 minutes into this one. Andrew Burton scoring the lone goal of the night. And Derek Alexander keeping this at 1-0 just a moment ago. Stick with us, folks. The final 13-plus minutes of this one coming up next right here on LSN. Welcome to the MIAA playoffs. Tight, competitive, and always thrilling. 1-0 as we're here in the 67th minute. Welcome back into our broadcast. I'm Javik Blake. The number 4 seeded Medway Mustangs leading the Norton Lancers, seeded number 5 in the MIAA D3 South tournament by a score of 1-0 thanks to an Andrew Burton goal in the 30th minute. And it's Kyle Houlihan doing some light stretching on the far side for the Lancers. It's a kick on the restart as the Lancers head this one on forward. It's Andrew Kabinski trying to grab it. It was Troy Newman who took that goal kick for Medway, able to kick that one out. It's Harrison playing this for the Lancers, trying to move it forward. and able to keep it in the Lancers zone, and a foul on the Lancers called on Will O'Brien. It's Troy Newman to kick this one forward for Medway. They have a man on the outside, but it's headed out and forward as Nick Chu heading that one out for the Lancers. Switching back to a defense position here in the late stage of this one. The Lancers going with 4 on the backside as this one played all the way back to Derek Alexander. Desperation time for the Lancers. 68-minute, 12 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Burton able to steal that one away. As that one right on the far side for Medway, and they'll head it all the way back to Derek Alexander. So the rain's slowing down to more of a light drizzle as we're into the late stage of this one. Dalton trying to play this one forward, but Mario Harrison can't get to it. As it's Longville throwing this one in on the restart, sent downfield as Medway just trying to waste time in this one, but the Lancers desperately trying to get a goal and keep their playoff hopes alive and send this one to overtime. And that one goes out and a throw-in for Medway. Late goals have been the dagger for the Lancers these past few years. Last year, double overtime, losing on a late goal against the Vineyard 2 years ago, losing after tying the game in a 67th minute. And eerily, if the Lancers can score, we're in pretty much the same exact situation as they were in 2016 in the first round. This one thrown in on towards net. Kaplan going over his head, and the Lancers are able to bring this one out. Romario Harrison in a forward roll here late, trying to bring this one forward.
Good job, Pat.
As it goes over the touchline, Pat Longval able to hold off Romario Harrison for just long enough. The Lancers held scoreless tonight for the first 70 minutes. It's Medway who controls it. Some fantastic pressure on the offensive end. Just outside the 18, they'll get it inside the 18. The shot blocked, and a great sliding stop by Brian Sullivan, saving this one for the Lancers. What an opportunity. This one stopped by Romario Harrison as it goes over the touchline. And the Lancers will get a throw. The 70th minute. As we tick into the 71st, the Lancers still down by just 1. The drama building, the excitement building in the late stages as Colton Hughes tries to chase after that one out there for some height as well. We've seen him on a whole lot of the throw-ins, adding some height on that offensive end. Lancers try to play that one to Dalton. It's intercepted by Medway. Fagerson with the interception as this one goes the other way. Trying to waste more time on the clock as Medway, as Sullivan tries to bring this one up. He gets it. Lancers trying to get the numbers on an attack. Headed forward by O'Brien. And it's O'Brien who has this one again. Looking to find somebody to pass it to, but instead plays it on towards net, right into the hands of Kyle Regan. Lancers' 5th shot on target of the night and first shot into the hands of Kyle Regan this half. He'll sit and waste more time before kicking this one out in the 72nd minute, and that's all Medway's going to try to do here late. But it's Kaplan trying to bring this one forward. Tries to jump over Brian Sullivan, and it's Sullivan who will get called with a foul. Sullivan called with a foul as it's Matt Kaplan trying to jump over Sullivan. They'll call him with a push. And a free kick just outside the 18 as Medway is trying to seal this one up here in the late minutes. '72nd minute, Medway trying to take a 2-0 lead on the Lancers and bury the hatchet with a late goal. The Lancer wall just a few meters in. It'll be Kaplan who will kick it. Stamps out of the way. Kaplan shoots this on net, blocked by Brian Sullivan. And the Lancer defense holding strong once again. A mad dash for the ball. So the Lancers will be able to take it on the far side. And a foul will called on Dan McDonald. It's Brian Sullivan who will kick this one. A free kick for the Lancers. Here in the 73rd of 80 minutes, about 7 minutes to go plus stoppage time. This one in front of the net where Mario Harrison was right there behind the Medway defense.
Go to the corner. Go to the corner.
Medway continuing to apply pressure to the Lancers in the late stages of this one. It's Sullivan versus Kaplan. That one goes over the line. And the Lancers will get a throw. It's Matt Kaplan getting subbed for, and he gets a yellow card for trying to waste time here in the later stages of this one. So with the yellow, he'll go off for a few minutes here as Kaplan picks up the first yellow of the night and the first card of the night. As we're still tied here 0-0. Kaplan picking up the yellow card in the 73rd minute for time wasting as this one played back to Alexander. Plays this on forward. A dangerous pass forward as he kept that one on the ground. Played forward by O'Brien. The Lancers with a fantastic season so far with a 15-game point streak sandwiched in between their first and last game, trying to continue on their tournament run. With about 6 minutes to go, looking for a cross. Sends this one on towards net, but headed out by Medway. The Lancers have this one outside the 18, looking for a shot. Drives this one on towards net. Just wide of Regan. Lancers' 14th shot of the night. The 9th going just wide of the goal. The late stages of this one, desperation time for the Norton Lancers. Medway sends this one on forward. As the Lancers trying to tie this one up here late. This one sent forward to Dalton. And it's Eno trying to play this one forward. And this one goes out off of DJ Eno. And Medway will get a throw in. 75th of 80 minutes. As the Lancers able to take this one away and they'll bring it forward. This one just out of the reach of a Lancer forward as Colton Hughes' pass goes over the touchline. And a foul called. And it'll be a free kick with Matt Kaplan getting it about 45 yards out from net. A whole lot of whistles here. 76th of 80 minutes. The Lancers still trying to tie this one up and find an equalizer. The lone goal tonight scored in the 30th minute by Andrew Burton, and that's the only scoring we've had tonight. Matt Kaplan picking up the yellow card in the 73rd. The only other thing the refs had to write down in his notebook tonight. This one by Kaplan sent in long and deep on towards net. Taken by Derek Alexander. It's Abuzet. Has this for the Lancers, but it sends the other way. The Lancers still trying to find an equalizer. This one sent down deep. It's DJ Eno with an opportunity, trying to get it inside the 18. The shot blocked. This one sent on. It's Will O'Brien with it. trying to get this one on towards net. It's squeaked out, and the Lancers will have it corner with a throw-in opportunity. Here comes Edward Abuzet late in the season, trying to save the season for the Norton Lancers in the 77th minute. 1-0 the score, and if he can do it this place, the Lancer fan section ready to erupt. This one thrown on towards net. In front, headed, and in! We're all tied up! 77 minutes! And the Lancers have done it! Edward Abuzet, the hero last game, plays hero tonight. And it's 1-1 in the 77th minute.
Give me a number and a name.
A mad dash in front of the net. And a timeout by Medway. Coach Eric Reed pumped up from the sidelines, and we're tied 1-1 in the 77th minute. We'll be back to Hanlon Field in just a moment. Stay with us, folks. Hello, folks. Welcome back to Hanlon Field, where the Lancers saving this one and finding an equalizer in the 77th minute. Andrew Dalton scoring his 5th of the season. Had a rough game last game, crashing into the Dover Sherborne goalkeeper and looked to roll his ankle in the first blast. But tonight, playing hero in the 77th minute as the Lancers able to tie this one up, and we're looking to go to overtime. If you would have asked a plethora of Lancer fans before this one, they were thinking this was going to be close, an overtime match, as Romario Harrison steals this one away.
Hey, ref, that one out on the 40. That one out on the 40.
As it'll be Edward Abuzet to throw this one in, the Lancers trying to get it done in regulation. 1-1, we're all tied up. Goal scored in the 30th, and then 47 minutes later in the 77th minute. If this does go to overtime, 2 10-minute overtime periods, golden goal scenario, first one to score wins. As this one played on forward to Dalton, trying to play hero and send the Lancers on. Taken away by Carpenter, playing this one downfield. O'Brien controls it. Now it's Kaplan, the leading scorer on this team with 14 goals on the season, sending this one directly to Derek Alexander as he falls on it. Tensions running high in the late stages of this one. 79th minute, 1-1 the score. And what a fantastic throw-in for Edward Abuzet. We've seen a few different times with his throw-ins. Tonight, finding entry inside the 6. They pulled Kyle Regan out one of those times. This one, Sullivan picking it up, but Regan just pulled out a bit too far, and the Lancers able to send this one home. This one sent on towards net. They have a man back on the outside. The Lancers aren't able to get it to him. They'll take it on the far side, though. And the chance ringing out here from Hanlon Field in the 80th minute. And a throw-in for Medway. One the score. And barring something crazy, it looks like we'll be heading towards overtime. This one sent in on towards net. Headed out by the Lancers, Ryan Sullivan doing the job once again. This one sent downfield. And the ref just waiting to blow his whistle. 80th minute now. And the Lancer equalizer scored in the top corner by Andrew Dalton for his 5th of the season. Dalton able to send this one out. And that one will go over the touchline. The ref checking his watch as we're here in stoppage time at Hanlon Field, waiting for overtime to come. This one thrown in towards the Lancer attacking end, headed out by Medway. They'll continue to play on. Kaplan tied up with Brian Sullivan, and they'll get a throw in for Medway here late. Lancers trying to avoid the same fate they had in 2016. After tying it up in the 67th minute, they lost late in that one, but that's not going to be the case tonight. Let's go to overtime, folks. Let's get some extra soccer for you. We're all tied at 1. as we'll go to overtime here at Hanlon Field. Stick with us, folks. We're all tied up at 1. It's been rainy conditions all night long, but the rain letting up as we head towards overtime here from Hanlon Field in Medway, Massachusetts. The Lancers will be going right to left on your television screen, Medway going left to right. The Lancers in overtime since 2006, 3-1. Last overtime game for them was last year where they got knocked out against Sandwich in double overtime, losing 2-1. Medway Mustangs, on the other hand, their last OT game was a 1-0 loss against Seekonk in the second round just a season ago, trying to avoid the same fate as their overtime record stands at 2-2. Jamaro Harrison controlling this for the Lancers. We're here in the 81st minute of action as that one will go by everybody and over the goal line. If you're a Lancer fan, most people thought that they were down and out in the later stages of this one. Medway controlling the action in a late, but the savior, Edward Abused, throwing one on towards net. As the Lancers were able to tie it up. Medway with a goal kick here out from their own 18. As it's Abused heads this one out of play, and Medway will have a throw-in. Let's go Norton chants erupting from the Lancer faithful that have made the journey up to Medway here tonight. It'll be Houlihan trying to take this one forward for the Lancers. Trying to get this to Eno. And he'll be able to play it inside. The Lancers have an opportunity inside the 18. It's O'Brien just walking the 18, but a foul will called against him. 82nd minute. Tied at 1, just looking for the game-winning goal. It's Harrison battling with Carpenter. Leaves this off to Gray. And he'll play towards the middle of Kaplan, who tried to get it back to Gray, but went right through his legs, and the Lanes still have it. Abuzet trying to send this one forward. Medway has it right on the far side. Tied at 1-1. Winner will go home with a 2-1 victory. It's just a matter of who goes home with the victory. The Lancers trying for the upset, and it's Jamario Harrison cramping in the attacking end for Medway. He'll call the trainer on. Jamario Harrison has done a fantastic job this season, scoring 2 goals and 3 assists for 5 points. But he'll be cramping here in the late stages. 83rd minute. Since Kyle Houlihan trying to stretch him out. The Lancers trying to go home with their first OT victory in quite some time. It'll be Kyle Houlihan, the captain for the Lancers, calling a team meeting towards Derek Alexander. When we have the restart, it'll be a Medway kick. Chris Nicholas will take it from just outside their 18 as both teams will huddle up. The Lancers will get some stretching in. And it's a hot and muggy night here in Hanlon Field. Temperatures in the mid-50s with the rain. Quite a humid night. The players just starting to cramp up as we get towards the later stages of this one. Mario Harrison, maybe one of the best players on this Lancer team. He's been starting these last few games. Is starting on that back line tonight. Came over from Jamaica 2 seasons ago, moved to Norton. Was unable to play with varsity last season, but has made a big impact this season, including maybe some of the best celebrations we've seen all season against Millis. I don't think he took him straight out of FIFA, the video game, as he scored 2 goals, and the Lancers able to take down the Millis Mohawks by a 6-0 score. Now it's Coach Green coming over for the Lancers to tend to him as Harrison able to get up and gingerly walk towards Green. And he'll gingerly walk towards the far side, and the Lancers Players stretching each other out. You see Abuzed stretching out Alexander on the far side. As he'll walk off in the arms, holding on to Coach Green. The Lancer head coach has done so much for this program, really credited with bringing this program into a powerhouse when he took it over 13 seasons ago. It was very much a mediocre program. They had only won one league title back in 2001, but since he's really created a great run of this program, 161 wins at the helm of the Lancers. And the Lancers control this one. Send this one on down deep, trying to find DJ Eno. Eno trying to fight for it on the far side, but it'll go out of play. And Medway will get a throw. Here in the 83rd minute, only about 2.5 minutes into this overtime period, the Lancers and Medway Mustangs still tied at 1. Coming up at the conclusion of this one, folks, remember the LSN extra time report. So we'll talk with Coach Green, the Lancer head coach, and break down all the action in this one, which is all the makings of a thriller. Coming into the night, we said it would be without a doubt maybe one of the best games in this tournament, and it has been so far. The winner of this one will face Norwell East Bridgewater on Thursday in Medway. The Lancer faithful and Medway faithful exchanging let's go Norton and let's go Medway chances. We're in the late stages of this one. This one taken away, and now here comes Chris Nicholas. Has an opportunity inside the 18. Sent back towards the middle with Kaplan. Trying to get around Sullivan. Gets it. Has an opportunity in front, but sent out by the Lancers. They're looking for a clearance opportunity. It's Kabinski who sends it all the way back towards midfield. A scary sequence there for the Norton Lancers. This one is Gray inside the box. But it's Derek Alexander sliding to that one in the 85th minute. And now slow to get up with Kyle Houlihan. We saw him cramping earlier. And now Brian Sullivan taking some time to stretch out his legs. The temperature tonight playing a factor in the late stages of this one. The first overtime period just looking for one goal to win it. This one downfield towards Abuzet into the open, but just by him and picked up by Regan. The Lancers' first shot of the overtime period goes right into the hands of Kyle Regan. It'll be Medway throwing this one in. They'll have it on the far side. 86th of 90 minutes here to the end of the first overtime period. As we're sudden death, just looking for one goal, and Medway trying to get it. They control it on the far side, just outside the 18. They'll throw it to the boundary of the 18-yard line as that one will go out of play. Over the touchline, it'll be a throw-in for Derek Alexander. A substitution coming on as Abuzed comes off. And coming on will be Declan Diestel. The Lancers in that front line, it'll be Chu, Eno, and Declan Diestel. This one sent on forward by the Lancers off the goal kick. Headed back, and they'll try to move it forward, but it's taken out. It'll be Aiden Gray having this one. Medway has it on the near side. It's Kaplan. Maybe one of the top players in this league looking for the crossing pass towards the middle in front. Medway has an opportunity just inside the 18. The shot right into the legs of Derek Alexander. A second gigantic save of the night for the young man. But Medway has it again. They're controlling basically all the momentum here in overtime. But now it's the Lancers with a counterattack. Sending this one to DJ Eno. They'd love to get an opportunity for Edward Abuzed to throw that one in, but it goes off a Norton Lancer. Looked to have gone off a Nick Chu as that one goes out of play. And a goal kick for the Medway Mustangs. Here in the 87th minute, Medway sends that one towards midfield. And what a match we've had tonight. If you're just joining us, Andrew Burton scoring the first goal of the night for Medway in the 30th minute. The Lancers, it took them 47 minutes to find an equalizer, but they got one in the 77th minute with Andrew Dalton putting one home to tie this one up and send us to overtime where we are currently in the first overtime period. And a foul called on the Norton Lancers. Medway sends this one on forward. It's Pescott. Letting that one roll by him and into the hands of Derek Alexander. Here in overtime in the 89th minute. Overtime will go until the 90th minute. As this one played on the far side by Medway, looking to find Kaplan. But instead he'll take it himself and will find Burton. The lone Mustang with a goal tonight. Sullivan able to play this one forward, trying to find Shu, but instead it's headed forward. And here comes Chris Nicholas, sending this one to Carpenter. Playing this one downfield just outside the box, and Medway with yet another great opportunity. Sending this one on towards that in front, just missing a goal to send him into the next round. It was Andrew Burton just sending it wide. What an opportunity.
Keep it up, Blue.
Here in the 90th minute, a fantastic opportunity just missing wide. Derek Alexander just could stand there stunned as the Lancers are trying to send this one into a second overtime at this point. It's been all Medway here in overtime. Eerily similar to how the Lancers were knocked out last season in double overtime against Sandwich, a game in which Sandwich controlled most of the first overtime. This is Declan Diestel passing this one back, and now they'll send it forward right past the head of DJ Eno. If we're still tied, we'll go to double overtime, and if still tied after that, it's penalty kicks. This one played on the near side to Chris Nicholas. It's Dalton playing this one to Houlihan. Plays this one to Sullivan. Time ticking down here in the first overtime period. This one sent on forward. Eno trying to run after that one, but picked up by Kyle Regan. Here in the 90th minute, we're in stoppage time of overtime. It's Cam Carpenter trying to find someone, able to bring it forward, trying to find it back to Carpenter. But the Lancers able to send that one out. Now it's Medway. Has an opportunity, but it's taken away by the Lancers. It's Dalton trying to send this one downfield. He will all the way downfield as they'll try to run out the time here in the first overtime. It's Regan grabbing that one. And this looks to end the first overtime. Regan kicks this one up in the air, and that's where we'll end overtime. To double overtime we go here at Hanlon Field in Medway, Massachusetts. Still knotted at one. Stay with us, folks. Hello, folks. Welcome back to a crazy Hanlon Field. The entertainment value going through the roof in this one. A second 10-minute overtime period, as the Medway Mustangs now going right to left, as the Lancers will go left to right, trying to find a winner here in overtime. Thanks for joining us, all you that have so far tonight, and what a matchup. A very first overtime shot will go right into the hands of Derek Alexander. Medway trying to something a little different off of overtime, trying to catch the Lancers sleeping. But it'll be Derek Alexander control it. It's Will O'Brien controlling this for the Lancers, sending this one downfield, but it's taken away by Medway. The Lancers once again 3-1 in overtime since 2006. The Medway Mustangs at 2-2 since 2006 in overtime. Both these teams accustomed to playing overtime in the playoffs. Last year for the Lancers, they were in overtime. And last year for Medway, both of them got knocked out in overtime as well. Andrew Dalton controlling this for the Lancers, sending this one on forward. The last overtime win for the Lancers was in 2015 in the South Sectional Finals. They won in double overtime against the Norwell Clippers, who, if the Lancers win this, could very well be facing John Latch, netting home a winner early in double overtime to send the Lancers on to the state semifinals against Swampscott. And they're trying to do the same here tonight. It's Sullivan controlling this on the far side for the Lancers. He'll walk the far end line here in the 91st minute. He'll throw this one in quickly for the Lancers off a restart and a push. No foul called, as now going the other way is Medway. Derek Alexander coming outside of his 6-yard box to grab that one. It looked like a foul called. The ref might have gone to his whistle, but Derek Alexander able to pick that one up for the Lancers. Medway hit another shot on target. 17 shots tonight. 14 of them on target for the Lancers. 16 shots tonight, just 6 have been on target. None in the first overtime, but it's Shue stealing that one away. Sends downfield to Jack O'Brien, who tried to play it up, but it's kicked out by Medway. And the Lancers will throw this one in. It's Jack O'Brien, the midfielder. Scored the game-winning goal against Medway his last match. To throw this one in on the near side, it's O'Brien playing this one straight up in the air, back towards Regan, who'll grab that one and kick it out here in the 93rd minute. Still tied 1-1. It'll be Daniel McDonald playing this one forward for Medway.
Nice ball.
This one on towards net with a great run towards Cam Carpenter, but the Lancers able to keep it out. Here in double overtime, Shue setting this one on forward. It's a dash for the ball. Eno trying to get to it, but this one will be kicked out on the near side, and they'll point towards the Lancers. Here comes Edward Abuzet. Here in the 94th minute in double overtime, here comes Edward Abuzet trying to send the Lancers home with a victory. Had an assist on the first goal of the night. Andrew Dalton's goal back in the 77th minute from just about the same spot. Kyle Regan pulled way out of the 6-yard box. Gave the Lancers a perfect opportunity to send it into the top left corner. Let's see what they do here. It's Andrew Dalton. My apologies. Edward Abuzet sending this one on towards net. In front by everybody. And Regan will chase that one down. Regan booting this one past midfield towards Kaplan. Defended by Sullivan, who's done a fantastic job defending Matt Kaplan tonight. It's Dalton sending this one forward for the Lancers. Has their lone goal tonight as Abuzet kicks that one out.
Hey, subs.
Here in the 94th minute. Still deadlocked at 1, as we have been since the 77th minute. It's Pescott taking that one away for the Lancers. They give it right back to Burton. It's Carpenter. Tie it up with O'Brien. The Lancers able to get this one out. It's Abuzet who has it. Deep in his own end, tries to play this one forward. Plays it towards Eno, trying to get it in front. Gets it around to the wide open. He'll see if he can try and put it in, but it's kicked away in a fantastic clearance opportunity. Here comes Edward Abuzet. DJ Eno able to get around Kyle Regan. But it was Chris Nicholas on the back end able to push him off the ball just long enough and send that one away. 2 fantastic chances in overtime. 1 for each team. Both have failed to convert. Still tied 1-1. Abuzet sends this one on towards net. Headed on straight up in the air by the Lancers. And it's Romario Harrison has it just outside the 18. Goes by everybody and will get a goal kick. The Lancers' 17th shot of the night. 6 on net here in the 96th minute. Both teams with just one corner on the night as Medway sends this one towards midfield. The Lancers quarter coming in the first half. Medway's coming in the second. But it's really been throw-ins for the Lancers that have created most of their opportunities all season. And we've seen that here tonight. This one over the touchline, the Lancer throw. Here in the 96th minute, the Lancer student section filled to capacity. And it'll actually be a foul called against Medway, so a free kick for the Lancers, and Brian Sullivan will drive it from just inside the midfield line. Here in the 97th minute now. Scores still knotted at 1, trying to find an equalizer. The Lancer with 5 men just outside the 18. This one sent it on towards net in front. Dalton looked like he had an opportunity, but it's sent out all the way towards the touchline and back beyond midfield. This one sent all the way back to Alexander, who'll keep it at his feet and send this one forward towards midfield. It's Kaplan trying to send this one on forward. Just about 3.5 minutes away plus stoppage time away from penalty kicks. This one all the way back to Kyle Regan, who will throw it out. Cam Carpenter to grab this one. On the near side, tries to play forward. Intercepted by O'Brien as he kicks this one out of play.
Patience, Cam, patience.
What a night of soccer this has been. Patrick Longval to throw this one in, the senior for Medway. What a night it has been. Back and forth action, knotted at 1. The two very best teams in the TBL going at it and duking it out here late. It's Medway giving this one up, and now Dalton has it in the middle. Trying to play it forward, and he's tied up at midfield with Liam Gray, and Medway has an opportunity now in the 78th minute.
Oh, I thought the clock.
They'll take this one on the outside of the 18. It's Sullivan.
I should have known that because I've seen him go by you. That's right.
Grabbing that one away. Thought it was his ball, but Kaplan and the Medway Mustangs will throw this one in. Inching towards the 99th minute of play here tonight. The Medway Mustangs 1, the Norton Lancers 1. A throw-in from deep in the attacking end for Medway. With a long run, they'll throw this one on towards net. Headed out in front over the crossbar. Medway with a shot just over the crossbar once again. Second time tonight they've done that. It's their 18th shot of the night. 14 of theirs have been on target compared to the Lancers with just 6. Here in the 99th minute now. They'll play this one on forward. Medway heads this one straight up. And the Lancers will play it back, trying to get it towards their attacking zone, find a goal late here in double overtime. Here comes Medway, though, grabbing this one forward. Inside their attacking third. They have Cameron Carpenter on the near side. The shot blocked by Pescod and sent out of play. The Lancer defense coming alive here late in this one. They'll get a throw it on the near side. And Medway fans ready to erupt. And trying to get something on frame here in double overtime. This one sent on towards net. It's Derek Alexander jumping up to grab that one. He'll chuck it out towards midfield. This one taken by Kabinski, now in a mad dash and a foot race. As the rain now starting to come down, a little bit of a light mist here in the 100th minute of action. 100 minutes. Nothing can separate these two teams here as of late. It's Jack O'Brien. Has this one just outside the 18, tries to cross it, and the Lancers will get a corner. What looked like a Lancer corner instead went off the inside thigh of number 5, Jack O'Brien, and that might just send us to penalty kicks. And that will. 100 minutes of action can't decide these two teams. To penalty kicks we go. Stick with us, folks. Tied at 1 on to penalty kicks right here in the MIAA playoffs right here on LSN. Welcome back, folks. We're headed to PKs here. 100 minutes, not enough to decide a winner between these two teams. This will be the Lancers and Mustangs in a penalty kicks shootout to determine a winner. Best of 5. Most to score will win. Last time the Lancers were in a shootout was the 2015 state championship, in which they won the shootout, won the penalty kicks, and won the MIAA D3 title over Douglas. Derek Alexander, 2 penalty kick goals on the season, will be the first up for the Lancers. Best of 5 here. The most to score after 5 rounds wins it here. It'll be Alexander against Regan. The Lancers 1-0 in penalty kicks since 2006. Medway 2-2. Alexander winds this one up, getting ready to go here. Ref blows his whistle, runs up, kicks it. That one past Regan, and the Lancers convert in their first opportunity. Now comes Matt Kaplan. Striding on in for Medway, their leading scorer this season with 14 goals. Missed a penalty kick opportunity in his last match against Bishop Stang. Missed it in the 14th minute. Against Alexander, the Lancers scoring in the top half of the first round. It's Kaplan running up to this one. Kicked away. Off the back of the net as Kaplan scores there, as we're tied up at 1. It'll now be the Lancers leading scorer, Will O'Brien. 8 goals on the season, leading the team. 17 points as well to lead the team in that category as well. He'll go up against Regan. Runs up, shoots. That one's in. The Lancers take a 2-1 lead. As running in now, it's Patrick Longvall.
Luke Fagerson.
My apologies, Luke Fagerson, number 10. The sophomore running in for Medway. Against Derek Alexander, conceding the first goal of the penalty kicks. Ref blows his whistle. This one, running up and guessing wrong, is Derek Alexander. We're tied up at 2. Next up for the Lancers, it'll be number 20, Andrew Dalton. 5 goals in the season, scoring the lone Lancer goal tonight. Ref blows his whistle. Dalton runs up, kicks into the back of the net. The Lancers have scored in their first 3 opportunities here in the shootout. Now walking on in is Cam Carpenter. Carpenter, the sophomore, scored last game against Bishop Stang for the Medway Mustangs. He'll line this one up here in PKs. Ref blows his whistle. This one on at the stutter step, saved by Alexander. He'll send that one going wide, and we're on to round 4 with the Lancers holding a 1-goal advantage. And now walking up will be Jack O'Brien for the Norton Lancers. 6 goals on the season, 9 points on the season as well, good for 3rd on the team. This one runs up, kicks it. This one in the back of the net, and all the Lancers have to do is save this one, and they're on to the next round. Jack O'Brien scoring here, and it'll be Derek Alexander versus number 14, Troy Newman, the sophomore defender. Has scored a goal in each of his last 2 matches, trying to keep Medway alive here in the penalty kicks. Tensions running high. Alexander trying to keep the Lancers and help them move on. The shot in on net, that one goes by him, and we're on to round 5. The penalty kicks stand at 4-3 in favor of the Norton. The Lancers, all they have to do here is score, and they're moving on to face the winner of Norwell East Bridgewater Thursday night right here in Hanlon Field in Medway. It all comes down to this. 100 minutes of action wasn't enough. This one, shot on net. That one's in, and the Lancers will move on. They've done it. Down 1-0 until the 77th minute. Came back to tie it, and they win it in penalty kicks to move on to face the winner of Norwell East Bridgewater with a 2-1 victory as the Lancer fans storming the field after an upset bid victory. And what a scene from Hanlon Field at Medway. The Lancers were down until the 77th minute. Come back to tie it and win it in penalty kicks for a 2-1 victory. Join us for the LSN Poach Match Report coming up next from the Match of the Year here in Medway. I'm Javik Blake. Stick with us, folks. The Lancers winning in penalty kicks to move on by score of 2-1. Hello, folks. Welcome into the LSN Extra Match Report. I'm here with Coach Green. Coach, we saw you going nuts on the sidelines after you guys scored that equalizer in the 77th minute. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they gave us 80 minutes to play, so we'll take every one of them. And these boys know we'll take every minute. And they kept fighting, and they believed in each other, and we got a throw in, and we capitalized.
Now, going through that game, the weather obviously playing a factor with some cramps and whatnot. How'd you guys work through that towards the later parts of the game?
Yeah, we're not worried about any weather. We're not worried about the field. I mean, we trained through this. We played through this. We played, in a lightning delay and against Millis on rougher conditions like this. So these boys, they're used to everything, and they can perform through everything. Now,
going to some tactical decisions, you decided to play Nick Chu up front this season for the first time all year. What went into making that decision?
I mean, listen, every player needs to be prepared to play any position. We have a very versatile team. Every team's different. Every game's different. So we just put a game plan together that we thought could give them most success today, and I think it worked.
Now, going towards your next game against East Bridgewater or Norwell, one of those two teams in your next matchup, how do you guys take what you did well from this matchup into your next one?
Yeah, well, we know it'll be a tough competition no matter who it is. There's a lot to learn from this game, a lot to learn from the season, so we'll go home, watch your video. I'm sure we'll find some things to work on. We'll get right back at it at practice.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. This is Coach Green. We'll be back with more LSN Extra Time right after this.
Thank you, guys.
Hello, folks. Welcome into LSN Extra Time. Just talking to Coach Green in this student section, which was on fire all night tonight, cheering the Lancers on to their 2-1 overtime victory over the Medway Mustangs, winning 5-3 in penalty kicks. And they'll now play the winner of Norwell East Bridgewater on Thursday at this very field at 6 o'clock. With the kickoff time of 6:12, the Lancers came out hot. They came out firing, but it was Medway who scored the first goal after a prolonged attack for about 10 minutes. In the 30th minute, Andrew Burton scoring a goal to put Medway up 1-0. And then there was nothing for 47 minutes until Andrew Dalton tied it up in the 77th minute at 1 to send this game to overtime. And in overtime, the Lancers were able to stop any Medway opportunity to get inside the 18. They stopped them time and time again to send it to penalty kicks. And in penalty kicks, they converted all 5, while Derek Alexander was able to save 1 in the victory. So the Lancers, next up for them is Norwell at East Bridgewater. And from tonight, we'll get the final stats For tonight, the shots for the Lancers with 17, Medway with 18. The shots on net 14-6 in favor of Medway. The Lancers, what they can take from this game, they played fantastic. They fought back from a lead that it didn't look like they could get in the later stage of this game. You talked to Coach Green. They give us 80 minutes to play. We took 80 minutes to play this entire game. That's exactly what they did. They played throughout the entire match in the 77th minute. Finally, a breakthrough against the Medway Mustangs. So next up, they'll play Norwell East Bridgewater. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for all of us here at LSN. I'm Javid Plague saying good night. Thank you for joining us for what might be the best game of the season. The Lancers take this one over Medway by a 2-1 score and move on to the third round of the MIAA D3 South Tournament. Good night, folks.